Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I talked about before we head to the break, animals. If you brought any dogs, cats, any exotic animals, hopefully they're all gathered around the screen watching some awesome search and destroy action, because now these series have gotten longer. Best of threes now turned into best of fives for semis along with the regular finals. Of course, happening here toward our first semi matchup taking place between EU Cadets and SDF. Looking at the landscape of the series, if you guys weren't looking during the commercial break, of course, St. Marie Dumont for map 1. The gas grenades are already out here on that B-bomb site. Of course, we known, for those who aren't really fully aware of it yet, this is your first time witnessing. On defense, the spawns have been adjusted on St. Marie Dumont to move them a little bit closer, just to make sure that the B-bomb site isn't necessarily as kind of overpowered as it previously was for offensive teams. It was kind of just a matter of who kind of got there first. It was a mad dash to the B-bomb site quite a bit of the time. However, that spawn adjustment now makes it a little bit easier for the defensive team to kind of recap. But aBeZy hopping in toward top red finds iLLeY on the flank. So first blood found of the series. And just like that, iReedr quickly responds. Nice little drop shot. They're on to Turnup. But unfortunately for him, too many players up there for his teammate. But it looks like Equuip here in the final kill cam does drop Simp. Along with the map adjustments, you'll also notice the amounts of FG42s kind of roaming around. Of course, the weapon tuning kind of gets adjusted in the FG's favor yet again. The PPSH, the sub machine gun users are crying, unfortunately, over the last few days. Of course, realizing the FG42 did get a recoil and fire rate buff, basically making it just as good as it previously was. So, obviously, kind of a nice little switch up post NOLA. But I know I was kind of discussing and have been mentioning quite a bit when it comes into St. Marie Dumont, especially on 3v3s. And now with the spawn adjustment, the ability to maybe make that rotation toward A, definitely going to be seeing it probably rotated to a little bit more, depending on how much is obviously the question. But they're definitely going to have a lot more presence on the right side of the map from the offensive team's perspective. A nice pick there found from Simp. As player number 2 in the back lines is iReedr, and Simp fully aware that a player could be sitting inside a winery. His intuition, unfortunately, does not pay off for a kill. In fact, his own demise is now iLLeY 1v2 going for the plants. It's a smart time to go forward as well. Of course, realizes his teammate drops, but at this point, has to go for it quick. As time starts to dwindle, so does his ability to probably escape out of this round successfully. It looks like Equuip does fire a few shots into the side of iLLeY. Where position does he try to lie toward? He's got to realize, I mean, when you're trying to retake here over on B, and you're in a 1v2, it's just a matter of both players coming from the same point of view. You have to really kind of funnel in players. You have to go for constant peaks. Kind of flooding in works very well. Bait and switches is what really can equal out to a successful round victory when it comes down to this site, when you do have the mankind advantage, which of course is exactly what SDF does provide. As if you aren't really familiar with the players or aren't really familiar with the search and destroy scene, of course, all 6 of these guys known for the search and destroy game. Of course, the EU Cadets are known for a reason. That is EU United's kind of official search and destroy team, kind of the practice partner for the regular competitive team. As a lot of time they are kind of facing off in search and destroy, trying to give EU United a better search and destroy practice. And based at NOLA kind of on their performance, it seemed that they're definitely working out. The search and destroy practice is definitely kind of come in full force for them. And overall, it's just a kind of great opportunity all around for EU United as a brand to kind of grow up these players, kind of have them some brand loyalty, and also kind of bring them up in the competitive atmosphere, playing off, night in and night out versus a very talented kind of top-level team like EU United. I'm sure it's great for the respawn game, because I know that the guys in EU Cadets are trying to get as much respawn practice as they can when it comes down to, of course, the future of their careers. That's the name of the game. Of course, you can make a lot of money in search and destroy, but honestly, variant is obviously where it's at. I love search and destroy, obviously, but variant, of course, where the larger prize pools come into play. Of course, major events, all variant as well. But speaking of the other team, though, I know I talk about EU Cadets quite a bit. SDF, though, aBeZy, Equuip, and iReedr. Of course, I believe aBeZy and Equuip actually played under an organization known as Wildcard at NOLA. Played alongside of Evasion and Scoliosis, so kind of 3 out of the 4 players known as more S&D kind of stars. I'm not sure exactly where they finished, but I believe I saw aBeZy kind of tweet out that he was a free agent, so maybe didn't work out the best of their ability, but obviously nice to see them kind of teaming up, and now on a squad here with Equuip, a very known S&D player in his own regard, as they're currently on defense trying to retake the site. There's no kills happening yet in this round number 4, but that's about to change. Player coming from top red, Turnup fully aware of it. aBeZy going for the side peek. Who's going to win it? Turnup able to find the first blood. And Simp watching the flank. This is spelling a no good situation right now for SDF, because once Simp realizes that player is on the flank, then they totally realize that wherever the other guy is coming from, whether the support shots are coming in, they know there's only one guy who's going to try and challenge this. And so if you're on iReedr spot, it's probably smart to try to go for a play, but he has no time whatsoever to kill all 3 of these players and go for it a few. So there's no real reason for him to try to challenge anything. I'm sure if he had a nade right now, he'd probably try and commit suicide or trying to kill himself, just because he doesn't want to give the ability for the bomb to explode. Any score toward the other team you'd like to try and avoid, but this team of SDF, you can't count them out. Of course, after losing that last round, things are now even at 2-2. But SDF, I believe, early on in the tournament took down Baldy, Poppy Wreck, and Hazy's team. And then in one of their last rounds, they also beat Hitman and Risky's team as well. So they faced off against quite a bit of solid teams up to this point. Is the nade cooked from Equuip, and it does work out very well. Yells at Turnup to try and catch it. And as Turnup grasps it in his hands, it does explode. But Simp coming around the corner. Can he win this gunfight? Going for the late challenge. aBeZy, not a stun in his hands. And it does get greeted with a few shots in the back, or in the front rather, from Simp, as now him and iLLeY are trying to retake this. A lot of pressure being brought toward the B-bomb site, which of course is expected. We talk about that beginning nade. That first blood comes forward and really kind of ruins the strategy of the EU Cadets. And Simp has made his way inside. aBeZy's not fully aware of this, so if they can get some good timing, it could work out in their favor, but at the exact same time that Simp falls, iLLeY does as well. And so just generally, it really is the offensive team who's still kind of favored when it comes down to the B-bomb side, especially when you got a nade like that. I mean, I know Simp and Turnup are both trying to provide some cover, trying to provide at least somewhat of an effort when it came down to the B-bomb, but Julian nade comes in and definitely kind of ruins things. But it looks like we do see a disconnection from one of the players, as a Simp is going to just kind of chill inside Turnup's body, which is not at all appropriate. So definitely keep the children away from the screen in that last scenario. I'm just kidding. But yeah, of course, it is a 3-2 advantage right now. Of course, I believe toward the side of SDF. Not exactly sure the reason for the restart. Of course, we'll try to get all that information for you guys, and obviously try to get iLLeY back into this game. But I noticed, I think Simp died, but I think iLLeY might have disconnected. I want to say, because I was like, why did iLLeY automatically lose the round, because I didn't see him die. But like I said, I believe this should be a 3-2 advantage. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the semifinals. Of course, we did have to take a little bit of a break, but I believe iLLeY is back, ready to go. He's feeling good. We're supporting the young lad as he's trying to get back into this game, as his team is currently down and around. Of course, currently in favor of the guys on SDF. Of course, major props to production for getting that scoreline ready for you guys. Of course, +3 relating to, of course, the score before the break. 3-2 advantage right now for SDF, along with finding the first and second kills, playing pretty well, that they are most likely solidified for finding that 4th round in this match. But not if Simp has anything to say about it. Hops out of the winery building. He's able to make it look easy. Drops 2, just like that. aBeZy is actually on the flank. He should drop pretty fast, but Simp, not the fastest reaction time in that particular point of view, as it was just a matter of aBeZy being very sneaky, doing exactly what he had to try to find out Simp. But a very interesting situation that SDF, of course, find themselves in. Do not want to wake up the sleeping beast that Simp can be when it comes down to a match of Call of Duty, especially in Search and Destroy. For those who aren't aware of Simp and his overall gameplay, he is an insane Search and Destroy player, and one that I have not seen like him in a very long time, if ever, someone like Simp, just because of the way that he can kind of take over a match and really single-handedly win a game for a team. But it looks like aBeZy makes it inside the top without anyone spotting him. And yeah, Turnup's going to have no call-out, no idea whatsoever that someone had made it inside the top red. So, unfortunate position where Turnup ends up getting dropped. Simp and iLLeY aren't able to, like I said, give him the call-out. aBeZy takes out iLLeY. iReedr ends up dropping, and just like that, Simp is there for the trade. So back-to-back situations, 1v1s. It was Simp versus aBeZy last time. Of course, aBeZy had a huge advantage knowing exactly where he was at, but now Simp, a little bit of an easier task, but hops on those top boxes, but trying to get an advantage over toward that B-bomb. But Equuip, of course, gaining the information of the shots coming prior, definitely makes things a little bit awkward. And like I said, toward the beginning of this round, it was just a matter of that player making his way through mid-street, not getting called down, of course, not even really getting spotted, rather. It definitely made things kind of awkward, but SDF now in the advantage on map point here for St. Marie-du-Mont. A bit more passive play coming in from Simp. Looking toward the B bomb, but it looks like A, if we take a look at the objective man, iLLeY, along with Turnup, they are going to have a pretty easy time here at A. So they really kind of make a pretty risky situation. As Equuip is actually thinking things are a little bit too quiet. I might actually rotate myself to the A site, but no one from SDF was actually in top red. That seems to be the least of their troubles right now with Simp. Quick reaction time onto aBeZy. Thinks that there's actually someone on the bomb, but it's just a dead body. It's actually one of his former teammates. As Equuip is actually letting the enemy know, and it's actually not an active player. It's actually one of your dead teammates, Simp. It's funny enough, kind of awkward enough. Sadly enough, that's actually the case. But still, pretty much dominance when it comes into St. Marie-du-Mont. Unfortunately, though, we do see a little bit of a restart. So for those who obviously did miss it, the 3-0 is actually overall a 6-2 scoreline victory that we see coming from the guys on SDF. So, of course, map number 1 does come to a close, and SDF find themselves in prime fashion, leading the way. Of course, this one only goes 8 rounds, and really this kind of came down to certain picks. Of course, we kind of discussed, prior to the, post the restart, that matter of the situation where, just great timing kind of goes the way of SDF. Their guns were definitely a lot hotter, and I think it's fair to say after the restart, we see 0-6 combined for iLLeY and Turnup, so obviously something was a little bit wrong. Simp was finding himself in a constant kind of situation where he really needed to clutch, and he's giving his position away, right? He's constantly giving his position away once he's in a 1v3 because, of course, 2 teammates dropped. The third has a huge advantage to know exactly where he was, which is, of course, we see aBeZy in one of the rounds, and then I believe the next round prior was Equuip, who had a big kind of advantage knowing exactly where that guy Simp was lingering at. But now, quickly hopping into USS Texas, that's obviously pretty nice for EU Cadets to kind of wipe away that last map loss, trying to quickly kind of focus their minds into some USS Texas here versus the guys on SDF. Kind of out of sight, out of mind, short-term memory, hopefully, for these guys when it comes into the Search and Destroy match. Of course, now being a best of 5, you can kind of work with things now. It's not necessarily, best of 3 where it's like, okay, we lost map 1. What did we do? Like, now we have to make this massive comeback. I mean, a lot of stress comes into best of 3. So at least with best of 5s, for certain players, it does make things a little bit easier. And, obviously, you can lose some maps and obviously make a comeback. It's not the end of the world if they do lose a map 1. But looking on here for some USS Texas, EU Cadets are known for having some interesting strats when it comes down to this map. I know when it came down to NOLA, and I want to say even at times it might have been even Montreal when EU United was actually playing, kind of bringing up certain moments. Simp was tweeting out and saying, like, hey, I taught them that USS Texas strat. So it looks like they should have some pretty decent ideas as what to do, but it looks like the sniper shot comes in for the first blood as Turnup enters in with a Card 98K of his own, taking out one on Equuip as we now find ourselves in a 1v1 scenario. Both players with snipers. Just as I say that, Turnup thankfully does pick up a PPSH off the ground, so preferably probably does not want to have a sniper inside the bottom ship, but aBeZy and aBeZy and Turnup both spot each other. Now, what's the play call for the offensive man? Of course, aBeZy, ball in his court. He's going to make the play here. Turnup is playing pretty aggressive, right? He's making his way on that A-bomb side. He's rotating around, trying to gain some information. Is he at B? He is indeed. Turnup making the smart call, the risky call as well, because if you're in Turnup's position, you know that, hey, most likely he's got to have the objective. Most likely he's trying to go for a plant somewhere. So it kind of gives him some time. Turnup kind of gives aBeZy a moment to kind of think and say, okay, what do I do in this situation? I need to kind of grab the objective. So Turnup rotates through A, checks the bomb site, despite the fact that a sniper bolt could come past him at any moment. And obviously makes the smart flank to take down aBeZy for a round number 1 victory, along with finding a big pick onto A. And I haven't really been able to watch this guy Turnup play a lot as of recent. Toward the beginning of World War II, EU Cadets were, of course, who were known under a different name. They were known as like Season, a number of different teams. They were playing quite a bit before being picked up, of course, by EU Cadets. And Turnup, very, very talented sniper player. I mean, to me, I was watching pros even snipe and what they were kind of doing, and Turnup was just ahead of the game. I mean, it was like literally like the day after the game came out, and he was just coming up with a number of different like amazing kind of line sights actually on the A site, funny enough. Just unreal sniper player at times. He can really take over a game with that Kar 98K, as he was an early user of it. Probably not the happiest that it saw a little bit of a patch come through, but maybe he has the ability to maybe rock something else. And speaking of something else, aBeZy with the sniper on the opposite end, doing some work. Turnup, of course, after watching the bomb plant go through, has the advantage of looking over it. Does get challenged from a number of different points of view, but look at Simp here. Trying to do some work on the site, takes out one. The bullet actually whistles past his ear, drops two, nearly found the third. Thankfully for iReedr, it was around a bullet that it needed, but Simp nearly found all three players. What did it say in reaction time? I mean, that is absurd. That's probably the play of the year, honestly, if he kills all three players like that. Unfortunately, we don't get to witness it again from iReedr's point of view because, of course, the defuse comes in, but just what a play from Simp. A near 1v3 and on the bomb. Like, literally, he's on defense, and he's challenging things like that. Just felt all the confidence in the world, and thankfully, had aBeZy miss that sniper shot, which made it available to even things out. But, of course, iReedr, the closest man to streaks coming into this round number 3. Only about halfway there, but definitely the most important player kind of on the map right now for SDF. Of course, besides Equuip, who currently does have the bomb in his possession. A lot of utility still in the back pocket. A stun for Equuip. A nade still for aBeZy. His Turnup is still lingering back there. You see that arrow on the left side of your map, or left side of your screen. Now in the front of your screen. Got the ADS out. Simp comes through with a nade, tries to go for the jump snipe, and aBeZy is there to pick up one. At the same time, iReedr shuts down iLLeY. And just like that, the snipes come through in what looked like to be a successful situation for EU Cadets. Turns into their own demise as aBeZy picks off Turnup and also drops a quick snipe there onto Simp as well, as the fast reaction time equaling out to a round victory, as SDF can never count these guys out. We talked about a near 1v3 situation last round for Simp. That was looked to be kind of improbable. Of course, doesn't go their way. But also a similar situation, which didn't look at all to go the way of SDF. They end up closing it out. So can't count out either of these teams. Can definitely turn up, no pun intended, whenever they absolutely have to. And it looks like a bomb is quickly planted here at the A site. And right now, if you're Turnup, he's holding a pretty interesting line sight. Really, the reason why he's watching over there is just because he's either waiting for someone to hop on the bomb or kind of watching the flank. But aBeZy, we've got to go on board with this man. 3 spree right now. His teammate Equuip shuts down one, and now Simp, last alive, does take out one. And aBeZy getting ready to come around the corner, does drop Simp. And like I said, 4 spree for this man. 6 and 2, a lot of those kills coming with the sniper rifle, as him and Simp have been meeting up quite a bit when it comes down to these 1v1 battles. And quite a bit of the time, it has been aBeZy walking away successfully, as 3 rounds in a row toward the way of SDF. They're feeling confident. They're feeling good. So despite a rush plant onto that site, Turnup watching the flank, they're just getting solved. EU Cadets are really just getting solved at this point, and I'm pretty surprised to see them kind of struggling right now the way that they are. It's really kind of based off of iLLeY's play right now. Of course, 1-4 right now. Can't really expect Turnup to be having a really high activity when it comes down to the scorecard. Of course, I say that when in reality it's aBeZy who's leading in total for kills of the entire map, who's also rocking the sniper for the other team. But not normally going to expect the snipers to really get a whole lot of a lot of the slang work done. As Turnup and aBeZy both missed the snipe. Of course, that's good. I mean, a lot of time for a sniper player, as Turnup does get the best of aBeZy there, that's really the only engagement that they're going to get throughout a lot of this map. I mean, especially in 4 versus 4 matches, a lot of people kind of hate on the sniper players. Like, well, where's this guy's engagement? It's like, what's he really doing? And it looks like the round could quickly turn around here. Turnup 1v2 knows an idea of where he's being shot at. Equuip providing some support fire as well, as the bomb's going to go down here for iReedr. And it looks like as he gazes at the ship next to him, I'm not sure what ship that is. That USS like Oklahoma? I don't even know. USS New Mexico? But looks at the passing boat and says goodbye. As the 4th round here found for the guys on SDF. Keeping in mind these are best of 5s, not best of 3s. So Of course, we do see the guys on SDF close this one out here soon. There's at least still some hope for EU Cadets. Still some hope. But looking on these sniper battles, which I've been talking about, very, very crucial. First picks are massive, and Turnup using a nice line sight. I believe aBeZy either spots his foot, because I think it's Turnup who's really the only guy who's in open cover. And just like that, iReedr's there to spot him. It took him a matter of a few seconds to try and see him. And now iLLeY left in a 1v3. I believe aBeZy might have thought he spotted iLLeY, but it was just a dead body at that. iLLeY come around the corner, quick reaction time, not able to find it. And now a 5-1 advantage for the boys on SDF. iReedr inside a bottom ship, closing things out, and honestly making this one look easy. We've seen some pretty close, rounds from time to time, but overall it's been a dominant performance coming through, and it's really been a matter of the first bloods going their way quite a bit at the time as they're in the favor. 4-2. 4 first bloods, of course, like I said, for SDF. And we'll see if aBeZy can find his 4th in total. Spotting out Simp just around the corner. Can he find him? Yes! Leg shot found. Usually that's a hit marker from time to time, but aBeZy gets the COD God blessing. And iReedr for the map. 1 versus 2. iLLeY probably does spawn him out. Yes, iLLeY does know exactly where he is. Just a sniper bullet goes past the side of him, but iReedr from a long range making the PPSH work out very, very well and Turnup up close and personal fight, and he's able to win it. So just like that, EU Cadets win a big 1v1, but when you're looking at the series, you're kind of looking at things. This is going to be a very difficult comeback for them to try and make. I mean, they almost clutched out a 1v2 for their 6th round, and only 7 rounds of potential play there. So keep in mind, though, like I said, I talked about first bloods, 6-2, or excuse me, 5-2 in favor of the guys from SDF yet again. As you see, aBeZy kind of continue toward his overall total, seeing Turnup swap off of that sniper actually toward the STG. That's been a weapon he's been using even before it was actually in use, since the prior FG patch. As aBeZy and iReedr combined for 2. We talked about the STG. Simp quickly finding himself all alone. It's a little bit lonely here in the bottom ship. And he can definitely clutch this one out. Both players not necessarily around each other. See if he can find themselves in back-to-back 1v1s. He could escape out of this round, but I believe player number 1 might have spotted him. Making his way toward A, and yes, Equuip is fully aware of his position, and he will fall. So just like that, another dominant victory toward the guys on SDF as they're now up 2-0 in our current semifinal matchup. And in both map number 1 and map number 2, 6-2 victory. So only 8 rounds of play, 16 rounds in total is what we've seen in the last 2 maps combined. And that, honestly, this is kind of unorthodox, what we're seeing from the guys on EU Cadets, right? They're not really kind of playing toward their normalcy styles. Of course, 44 to 3v3 obviously plays a big difference, but generally, I mean, when we look at, we were kind of discussing and saying the kind of first blood counter coming into this match, I want to say that I think 6 out of the 8 first bloods, of course, 6-round victories for the guys on SDF. I mean, 6 out of the 8 times for first bloods, they get them. So it's just a matter of kind of finding those first bloods. aBeZy, without question, was dominating with that sniper rifle. He was not missing a shot. So we saw some moments at times where iLLeY was kind of having a slow start to the game. I want to say he started off like 1-4, 2-5, something along those lines. It was definitely kind of starting off slow heading into this match, and you can't really afford to have that. I mean, generally, you can't afford to have a guy like iLLeY and or Simp have a slow match or have a slow start, because I think EU Cadets realizes who they're going off against. I think they realize who they're facing off when it comes down to the guys on SDF. They've played against these guys in a number of different search and destroy tournaments. They know aBeZy likes to rock that sniper rifle, of course, very talented with it. But like I said, a lot of the times, of course, regardless of aBeZy's performance, because that was kind of an outlier when it comes into regular play, but Turnup's not really going to be getting in a lot of engagements when he's using that sniper, because his kills are high priority kills. So when you look at Turnup's kind of kill to death ratio, that kind of most likely schemes the overall landscape of what probably is the series count. So if Turnup's even, or not even, but if he's, kind of very, I would say if Turnup's, either like highly positive or highly negative, that's probably based on what the scoreline is kind of looking at. For the most part, of course, kind of looking at things. So he's usually kind of finding those first picks. I mean, at times, snipers can kind of be involved from time to time when it comes down to the future of a round, but generally, they're the guys to find the picks. They kind of rely on their teammates to kind of find the other two if it doesn't work out. A lot of times, they're kind of put in an awkward spot where they have to kind of, quickly try to grab a PPSH or an FG off the ground and try to do some work with it. So, like I said, with that in mind, back-to-back victories, solid wins, of course, for the guys on SDF. They dominated their way through St. Marie. They dominated their way through USS Texas, and now we're looking at some London docks. Now, I want to say this. I have seen Simp in every single map in Call of Duty World War II kind of take over a game. But I have seen him do it more on London docks than every other map, and I think he really has the ability to go off. A lot of times he's using either an STG or primarily a PPSH on this map. Him and Turnup will kind of swap off of that sniper role from time to time. I know since Turnup hasn't really been playing Call of Duty World War II as often, Simp's kind of been relating more to that sniper role, so do we see them kind of change things up? Like I said, iLLeY has got to be kind of playing a lot better. But I think generally this is going to be a team effort. Simp can take over this game, but he needs some support. He can't do it all by himself. He can do it from time to time where he can kind of go off, but he can't be clutching out 1v3s every single round. So he's really going to need iLLeY, especially to really turn up when it comes down to this game. Of course, most likely his sub-duo heading in to what could be the final map of this series. Can SDF do it? Can EU Cadets make the comeback to at least force a map number 4? Of course, that one would be on Arden Forest. Or is this one done in 3 straight maps? And will it be a dominant victory is the question to be asking. A lot of questions coming into what is or what potentially could be the final map for this current semifinal matchup. But like I said, guys, feel free to put your predictions in the chat below. Do you think EU Cadets can make it back, or is SDF? Like I said, going to close this one out in a 3-0. Put it in the chat. Tweet it on Twitter. Like I said, make sure if you guys, like I said, you're probably around the fireplace. It's snowing outside. It's raining outside. I don't know. The weather is awful. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But like I said, if it's snowing or whatever, you're gathered around the fire, you're with your animals, you're with your family, you're watching this matchup, and I'm not sure what team you're supporting, but hey, it's a possibility that you could be watching this game with your entire family. I mean, hopefully you are. It's a family game. Not really. I mean, not exactly. But I know I'm just kind of rambling. I'm literally rambling right now. I'm just kind of waiting to fill time because we're not going to a commercial break. Land's filled long enough to where we don't have to see another commercial. Trying to keep the talking going so we don't have to stare at a loading screen, stare at a waiting screen for any longer, trying to get these matches underway, trying to get things done. But Simp, the man, I guess pistol whipping right now? Not exactly sure. But trying to bring his team back is going to be a big factor when it comes down to how this map plays out. As it looks like smokes being brought out early here from the offense as iLLeY does find a pick. A big one for him to find. Confidence is big early on, especially in a map like this when the series is the way that it is. Player number 6 coming around the corner. Equuip should be able to find Simp, but no, the fast reaction time. Might have been a dolphin dive. If not a drop shot inside a barrel building. I'm sure a pretty frustrated call out, if not a kind of delayed call out. Coming in from whoever Simp dropped there. Just in astonishment of what just happened, but iReedr 1v3, bomb gets planted, that's big. I think what they're waiting for, and the reason why Simp doesn't fully on challenge is because he realizes that, hey, once we get the bomb planted, that's when we kind of work through things. Of course, iLLeY already finding a pick. We'll get the plant, and the question is now for iReedr. I mean, if I'm iReedr, I'm definitely challenging. I don't really want to try and feed them towards streaks, but he's really going to get through the first line of Simp and does exactly that. Takes him out with a headshot. That's a big kill to find, even if he doesn't win the round, which he's not going to based off the time left. But, I mean, that's a big pick for him to find because, of course, Simp is a guy who can easily go on a streak, but, of course, iLLeY is his primary target, needs to try to drop him, goes for a kind of a routine drop shot for someone who could have been on the flank, but does end up getting taken out. So successful round there coming in from the guys on EU Cadets. Make their way into the A-bomb site, toss out some smokes. They're able to get the plant down, along with keeping iLLeY up. I think that's kind of the most important factor of this round is the factor that iLLeY gets a kill, he also gets the plant. So with that in mind, We'll see what they can do when it comes into defense. I just looked at the chat for a second, and I just saw that someone saying me and my dad would be watching. I don't know. Maybe someone's watching with their family. I appreciate that. I'm not going to lie. If someone tweets at me right now a picture of like them watching the stream with their dog and or a family member, which dogs are family members in my opinion, I'm going to retweet it, and I'm also going to follow the person. So tweet at me, @Lando. Do it right now. I want to see the tweets. Simp finding a sniper shot inside of fire. Quickly gets traded out there from Equuip, and iLLeY needing to respond 2v1 in favor of the EU Cadets. Like I said, early momentum for them is big, and iLLeY's position to kind of stay up for the team is also important. Of course, the ideal spot for EU Cadets right now is for iLLeY to try to find this final player and Equuip, and I believe he should be able to find it, but no, the timing doesn't work out. Narrowly is able to drop iLLeY, so 1v1 Turnup has full sight lines on to B, but has to be aware at any moment a flank could be happening, a push through barrels could also be happening as well. Goes for the engagement, and this is a very risky play for Turnup. A very risky play at that as the 1v2 comes forward here from Equuip. And if you're Turnup in this scenario, it's such an awkward challenge to make because he really is in a full committal to watching the B bomb. And not that he shouldn't be, but at that point, you got to back up. I mean, let him try to challenge you. You have 20 seconds. If you could just kind of outlast him for as long as you can, you should be good. You should be good to win the round. However, not the case. Smokes out early. EU Cadets saw success on offense in the prior round. Of course, losing iLLeY in round 2 was big for them. If he could have found that big 1v1, it would have been nice for streaks, but aBeZy literally right around this corner. This is the fun part about London Docks search and destroy, especially on this A bomb site, is the ability for someone to just kind of put their body all compact like back in that A corner. As aBeZy's patience will work out. iReedr with the FG at a long range finds the second. And just like that, Simp, awkward position, does get dropped there as well. So 3 players all staying alive for the guys on SDF, and maybe taking some momentum from that last 1v1. I mean, in that situation, I think that's a pretty big mess up for Turnup. I think he should have backed up. And versus a solid team like SDF, we've already seen how solid and how well they played in the first 2 rounds, or the first 2 maps, rather. You can't be giving anything away. You can't give them any advantage. Typical, saying if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. That's exactly what will happen. It's not like EU Cadets really have a solid deck right now. They don't have like a lot of cards really in their favor. They're trying to bring this one back. It's going to be a grind to bring this one back. Looks like Simp from the back does get spotted. aBeZy does have his stun, and you're going to see him go and toss that one. On the opposite end, iReedr does get taken out. FG versus STG from a long range. This time, Turnup does find the kill. Looks like aBeZy and Equuip trying to make their way toward the A bomb site. Of course, their position is known. aBeZy going for the flank. Smart play, but unfortunately, his position is known. He does get sought after, and Equuip leaves his teammate after him falling. As on offense there for SDF, they begin to struggle. But it really kind of comes down to that big 1v1 where, of course, SDF loses their prior teammate. aBeZy nearly comes on the flank to shut down Turnup, but, I mean, really, just a matter of trying to get a position, trying to bring themselves back, and with not a whole lot of time left on the clock, they did start the scramble. And now looking on here at round number 5. So I start to tick on. I mean, this has got to be wearing for sure on the guys of EU Cadets, because it's just like, if we even go down in this game, it's just a matter of really trying to bring this one back, and of course that's going to do a lot for their confidence. I mean, a lot definitely taken away when it comes down to that last match, that last round rather, because all 3 of them dropped very, very, very quick as the World War II game can't even keep up fast enough. And when you play Search and Destroy, like I said, the kind of game waits a few seconds after you've already killed the entire enemy team. You know that it was a fast run. You know it was a dominant victory for you guys. So SDF now up 3 rounds to 2. Can EU Cadets get the 3rd round of the board And with aBeZy stunning like that, they're a pretty good spot to probably do so, along with Simp finding the first blood. Equuip and aBeZy, yet again, last alive. And the sneaky play from aBeZy, making his way into fire. Does Turnup spot him? I don't believe that he does. Yeah, Turnup has no idea that he's there, and just like that, aBeZy finds one. Equuip making his presence felt as Simp drops the second kill. And Equuip with a very tall task at the moment. Bomb not in his possession. Sitting inside a fire where Simp already has done quite a bit of damage. Spots him out, tries to go for the rush inside a crane, and he's going to be greeted with some shots from iLLeY. This is where the bait and switch starts to come forward. Equuip fully aware of that. Tries to reinitialize himself. 9 bullets in the clip. Can he make it work? Tries to pull the machine pistol, and granted, he does get a leg shot onto Simp. Needed one more bullet, but he's not able to find it. And Simp coming in big, coming in clutch. Granted, had his teammate iLLeY watching his back at all times, as the final bullet will do it in that situation. As the game starts to get closer, but that is, I believe I saw a sniper rifle get brought up probably from aBeZy. Yeah, pulling up the car 98K, heading toward the A site. We've seen a lot of teams have success on this. Going for that jump peek, and nearly spots out Turnup. Of course, has STG and or FG shots to probably respond back with them on it. And you also notice the class from iLLeY. What's actually the combat training for iLLeY? If we can move over and try to check that, if possible. He has 3 attachments on it. And look, oh, almost there, Yeah, okay, he's got Prime. I was gonna say, well, obviously he has Prime. What am I thinking? Because he has 3 attachments on his sub. I apologize. I was curious. I haven't seen the Prime logo, I guess, in a while. I'm used to kind of like inconspicuous and hunker. Maybe some duelists from time to time. But iLLeY able to drop one, and last player alive is Equuip. He does find one inside of barrels and does escape with his life. So a lot of situations kind of coming down to these clutch scenarios, and a lot of the time for SDF, they're in awkward spots. There are 2v3s, 1v3s. But Equuip does spot out Turnup. Can he find the kill? Yes, is able to drop it at the same time. Does get the indicator that iLLeY has planted the bomb. Now going for the quick challenge, iLLeY. This is kind of a risky play for this man. Grant is holding the head glitch, but he's kind of playing with fire at the moment. Speaking of fire, Equuip making his way through there. And this stuff from iLLeY is obviously very good. He's got 3 attachments on it for a reason, but has to back up. He's very, very weak. There's 18 seconds left to work with for Equuip. Where does he go? Where does he rotate toward? Is he going to know? Does he spot out iLLeY? Yes, he does. Can he find the kill? The question, yes. He does drop it. Has to get up the ladder. Does he have time? And I believe he does have just enough time to go for the defuse. A huge round victory for Equuip. As just in the nick of time, yes, goes for the defuse, grabs it successfully, and clutches out a 1 versus 3 to give the guys on SDF a lot more momentum. Up 2-0. Have the round count advantage and nearly have streaks on Equuip after a 1 versus 3. A lot going in their favor. And EU Cadets begin to feel pressure more and more. As an initial B push, looks like it might be changed back toward A. Of course, Equuip with the objective in his hands. Might have his teammate have to face off early on in a 1v1 engagement. However, it's iLLeY with the STG up close, who finds the first blood in his teammate's case. As despite the kind of round count right now, in total, it is a 6-2 advantage, actually, in favor of EU Cadets when it comes down to the first bloods. So you can obviously see the guys on SDF very good at kind of being down in those 2v3 engagements. That second blood, they're able to find a high majority of the time. But aBeZy coming in the corner. Perfect line sight. Makes it look easy as he finds Turnup. Just watching his teammate Equuip clutch out a 1v3 in the round prior knows, and he has the confidence to potentially do it himself. He's got a sniper and an FG. Trying to make his way through docks, and I believe player number 3, iLLeY does not spot him. iLLeY doesn't know where he is, and so Simp is relying heavily on just player intuition to find him. Simp and iLLeY will team shot there for the final kill. Along with a defuse coming in from iLLeY, we are now level at 4 heading into round number 9. And taking a dip that looks like Coke. I wouldn't feel safe jumping in that river there. That does not look good. I'm not a fan of the level of water. That's not clear. Potentially some disease that could be found. I'm not a fan of that. But regardless, hop right in here to round number 9. Of course, EU Cadets bring that one back. At least in back-to-back scenarios, they prevent, or excuse me, in the last scenario, they're able to prevent back-to-back 1v3s. Like I talked about, the first blood differential, 6-8 in favor of EU Cadets. You look at this series and you're saying, well, in 2 situations, they have a high majority to win that round, and they don't. Simp onto the back lines, takes out iReedr. Spots aBeZy as well. Both shots whistling past both of their ears. And Simp, after finding that first kill, now going for the plant as Turnup, watching over his teammate, knows that there's no one inside of boxes. So as long as he can kind of provide some knowledge on that site, they should be good to go. And it's a matter of Equuip and aBeZy to try to make the challenge forward. aBeZy continues to snipe. iLLeY's there for the pick, and now Equuip. 1v3 for him. Simp through lower docks. Who's going to sort each other out, and Simp stays alive. And just like that, the 5th round gained for the boys on EU Cadets as they start to get some confidence. They start to get some momentum in their favor as they now realize they're just 1 round away from grabbing this map number 3 here on London Docks and trying to bring themselves back in this series. Will we see a round 11 force from SDF? Will EU Cadets close it out here? A lot of question marks coming, but it looks like a lot of pressure being shown toward the A site in prior rounds. Not the case when it comes down here to round number 10. A big pick found, a headshot at that for Equuip. Takes out Turnup, and now EU Cadets, the final 2, are aware of that push being made. Yet again, another missed stun coming in from aBeZy, but has to know where iLLeY is. iLLeY ends up finding a big kill, and just like that, Simp finds the snipe onto 1. Equuip now 1v2. Despite finding the first blood in this round, his 2 teammates drop, and it looks like iLLeY going for the defuse. No, hops off of it. Equuip has to go big. Coming around the corner, can he spot out iLLeY? But no, not able to stay alive. A huge miss as iLLeY is going to let him know. Earned streaks, but it doesn't matter. Simp is going to grab the defuse, and just like that, 6 rounds to 4. As EU Cadets respond back here with a very, very close map number 3 here on London Docks. As it did take them a little bit to kind of catch fire, but when they do, it's obviously one to admire. And I was talking about heading into this match. Expect to see a strong performance from Simp. A lot of the time, of course, he goes 10-5. And I was saying, iLLeY has to play well. iLLeY has to kind of really have a strong performance when it comes down to this map here on London Docks. And obviously, in that last match, we see him finish off 8-4. Has a strong performance. Like we said, we were kind of discussing and saying that, hey, Turnup, like I said, we kind of expect what we're kind of expecting, Turnup to play, decently well. He's going to have a decent performance from time to time, but he's not going to be the guy kind of leading the way. He's the FG or the STG or the sniper in the back lines. He's the guy who's kind of either picking up either first bloods or final kills. He's not the guy to kind of get the kind of middle work done. That's going to be on, like I said, Simp and iLLeY quite a bit of the time. We see iLLeY have a strong performance finally in this series, and that's when they obviously do win a map. So, with that in mind, Arn Forest now getting ready to load up here for map number 4. Keep those predictions flowing. I was seeing a few thoughts in the chat, even some on Twitter as well. People discussing who they think is going to obviously walk away with this victory. At least in my opinion, I was really thinking the EU Cadets was going to walk away with the USS Texas win. However, I was a little bit scared when it came down to London Docks for them. I know I was kind of discussing and saying that I think Simp, really that's one of his better maps. Obviously shows it, as per usual, that he is a very dominant player in S&D, especially when it comes down to that map. But really, it's going to be continuing to come down to iLLeY. Based on his performance in maps like this are very, very big. He goes double positive. He drops 8 kills in map 3, excuse me, and that's obviously for a very good reason. And now, looking on here at map number 4, obviously no love lost between both these teams. Quite a few body shots being shown already. As in that final kill, iLLeY letting the enemy know that he could be back. At least off the start here, round number 1, offensive team rather. going to be EU Cadets. It looks like Turnup rocking out with that sniper rifle here through middle, not spawning anyone out. As the stuns, nades as well. Being thrown out from SDF, and iReedr holding that B-Dom. iLLeY going to know exactly where that is. Has a perfect nade for him. It says catch. Able to get the kill along with it. So smart play coming in from iLLeY. The first pick found, and now they have the ability to make their way onto the B-bomb. So not if Equuip has anything to say about it. Turnup making his way through. Ends up dropping one at aBeZy. Finds himself in an awkward position, and now Turnup. Smart play coming in for him to kind of wait through that back pillar side, but Simp is not there to challenge. Simp kind of waits a while, kind of pauses. It isn't there for the immediate challenge. Thankfully, we'll be there in the end to find something out. But regardless, Simp is going to be there when EU Cadets need him most. Rocking the STG 44. There too. So looking on here at round number 2, when I kind of talk about Arden Forest, a lot of the time I bring up the factor of utility smokes are very important when it comes into Arden. Especially when it comes into making their way, the offensive team, excuse me, for making their way toward either site. If you want to make it toward B, you can toss that smoke either through middle to kind of lock out through U, or to back tank, just to kind of limit the maybe line sights, or you also toss the smoke toward cabin in front of Stacks, where the normal player kind of sitting back, Stacks is kind of limited his vision. But of course, early pick found here from the guys on EU Cadets as they quickly drop the second as well. iLLeY linking through B-Dom as he make that third kill look even easier than the one prior. And this is actually with an STG 44. Nice shot coming in from iLLeY at a long range. I mean, it looks pretty easy there. Not as easy as it seems. As like I said, iLLeY has to play well for EU Cadets. He really has to kind of have a strong performance for this team to see success. He's 4-1 and has found 2 out of 2 first bloods so far in this match. And now, of course, the objective man heading into this round. If we can actually go to the above cam really quick, I'm curious to see what the defensive strat is for the guys on SDF. It looks like they make it the initial rush. Simp actually takes out aBeZy, has a nade to greet iReedr yet again. So at least on defense, we see pretty much a full-on rush from SDF. They try to face them off head-on. aBeZy, unfortunately, not ready for that gun engagement. Does get taken out. So 3v2, Equuip sitting through U, also falls as well. iLLeY on that streak does not earn score streaks. So as he falls, it's a big pick in the end if you are the guys from SDF. Keeping in mind the future of this round, it's obviously the biggest kill for them that they needed to find. But iReedr, along with finding one, drops the second. In a 1 versus 1, Simp versus iReedr. If iReedr finds this kill, it would be a 1v3. Simp grabbing the bomb. What side does he rotate to? And it looks like he will get dropped. So a big 1v3 coming forward here from the guys on SDF. iReedr going big when he absolutely has to. And like I said, it's big when it comes down to this match because the most important player that they needed to shut down was iLLeY. Was on a 4 or 5 kill spree. Didn't earn streaks. And of course, finding iLLeY, he also found Turnup and Simp in the same life. Major props there, of course, coming in toward that man, iReedr. Going big, and of course, it's a 1v3 that is the only thing that gets them on the board, but it does regardless. And now they have something to work with. It looks like they're attempting to the A side. Let's actually keep in mind where, I was going to say, where iReedr and where aBeZy were both at. They quickly drop. They were trying to make their presence felt. I know aBeZy had that sniper inside the bunker. He did not have an easy time. Of course, prior round of 1 versus 3. Probably not the same fate here from Equuip, but, you know, anything's possible. Giving him a chance. Donovan back bridge. Getting some shots tagged into him. Equuip now makes his way through middle. iLLeY has his position. Kind of a constant call out through the last few seconds as you got to imagine EU Cadets. As Turnup kind of gives the call, he's making his way back through B. iLLeY kind of backs up through U, and Simp says, hey, I'm here for the challenge. I'm here to kind of pick up the final kill. And be keeping in mind, right, both these teams fully aware when it comes to search and destroy the earn rates, obviously for score streaks. Simp's obviously been playing well. He found a pick prior to this. As what's Simp at right now? If we can actually go to him, yeah. So 200, not obviously too far, but like I said, these guys are aware when it comes to score streak usage who needs to find the kills. Maybe iLLeY backs up and says Simp take the kill. Try to be aware of those. Streaks obviously very important, especially in 3v3s. A lot harder to earn, just because of course there is that one enemy who's never there. But Player 5 making his way on the flank, so aBeZy finds a pick, and just like that, Turnup falls as well. Start to pick him up, start to speak on picks. Simp finds that one onto aBeZy as they've been kind of going back at it a number of different times in this series. Simp right now on a 4 spree. Needs to go big. And needs to grab that objective soon because, of course, the time's ticking away. 35 seconds left. And as long as iReedr just stays alive, he can win this round. But it's really all about Simp, who has to make that initial fight. Either has to grab the objective and get the bomb down, or has to kill the enemy player. And you see Simp checking every which corner. Based on his play right now, he's going to make his way through middle, probably going to go through fire and or through cabin alley and try to go for a plant, but he doesn't have a whole lot of time left. And since he starts playing a little bit slow, his only option is here to go to B. And iReedr has got to be hearing this. Yes, iReedr going to go for it. Going to wait for him to go for the plant. No, actually going to go for the challenge. So I respect that play coming in from iReedr. Honestly, in any situation, when you're facing off against a guy like Simp, I mean, you do not want him to in any way turn around. He might have just like a quick flinch and was like, yep, not even going to try this. Not even going to go for it. Don't want to get turned on. But a lot of the time, you'll see guys in that situation kind of wait for the plant to go down to obviously get the added kill along with the defuse along with it. So Simp gets dropped, doesn't earn streaks. So big kills coming in from SDF. Kind of taking out iLLeY and Simp, who are both on runs to grab those. And now looking on, as it looks like on offense, the SDF squad has been halted in the back of their base right now, waiting for a pick, waiting for something to happen. And it looks like Simp does get picked off here inside a cave. At the same time, aBeZy and iLLeY dueling through mid-map. aBeZy backs up and joins alongside of his teammate, his fallen teammate, Equuip. So says hello to his dead body, realizes that Sniper probably is in the hands of Turnup right now. Along with Turnup spawning him, he is going to earn that call out, as they both know there's no real vantage point inside of middle, probably a plant going down on B. As Turnup, of course, realizing that now, makes the initial rush, and I'm not sure how that sniper shot missed. That had to at least go either between the legs of aBeZy. Not sure how that one didn't go through, but iLLeY on the flank. Big kill happening. Who's going to win the duel? That will be iLLeY in the situation. Big pick found, and now if you're iReedr, got to be aware of your streaks too. Got to be aware of the round more, but can he pick off Turnup? Not able to make it happen, as Turnup will be there for the kill in the end. And now after 6 rounds of play, of course a 4-2 advantage in the round count, and a 5-1 advantage for you Cadets when it comes down to overall first bloods. As these guys, especially in back-to-back games, in London Docks and out here in Arden Forest, they have been dominating when it comes down to those first bloods, and every single time, a lot of it has been Simp. I mean, Simp has been kind of initializing these fights quite a bit of time, so I think it's only fair that we do hop on board with this man heading into round number 7. Big engagement found, shuts down iReedr. And it looks like at the same time that Equuip is there for the trade, aBeZy finds the nade onto iLLeY. And inside of fire is where Turnup will fall as well. So, of course, these rounds start to come to a close here in Arden Forest. Just one round separating both of these teams. And if you guys are just joining us, of course, when it comes down to this series right now, SDF up 2-1. This is a best of 5. So SDF only needing 3 more rounds, just 1 overall map victory to propel themselves into the finals for tonight's $1,500 Prime 3v3 Search and Destroy. A lot of money on the line, a lot of pressure, a lot of thinking going on. Mind games, I'm sure, are coming out. Offense and defense alike. iReedr sneaks his way inside of the narrow corridor. Does get picked off. iLLeY finding that. Yet again, another first blood going the way of EU Cadets. 7-1 advantage. aBeZy, though, picks off Simp from the side. However, that bomb planter not moving as quick. aBeZy trying to clear out the map right now. Might spot iLLeY on the flank as well. He's already found one, but actually gets flanked while on the flank. Speaking of flanks, iLLeY in the back lines also shuts down iLLeY. Wait, iLLeY just shuts down iLLeY. Equuip shuts down iLLeY. A lot happening in this round. I apologize. But regardless, though, if you're looking at either of these teams, especially for SDF, wanting to close this map out, a lot rides on this round number 8. And where does the objective man go? Where does Equuip rotate to? It looks like he is making his way toward A. Has some free time. And Turnup trying to be on the early dash, trying to make his way there. Check the bomb at about 12 seconds over on B. Realized he wasn't there. Should go for the quick rotation, but it looks like he will get sought out. Turnup waited for his time to shoot. Holds his breath. Puts his finger on the trigger, as it will be Turnup grabbing the defuse along with a 5th round here for the guys on EU Cadets. And now 1 round away from forcing a map 5, which would be on St. Marie-du-Mont. One that we obviously saw on map 1, where it was the guys in SDF who won that one in 8 rounds of play. But this is a different EU Cadets team. All of them playing very, very well. iLLeY, Simp, Turnup. Playing solidly. And Simp might have a nade to greet with aBeZy, but at the same time, aBeZy tosses out a nade. Does he have enough time to escape? And it looks like he does. Nades aren't affecting either group. But it looks like one player tried to go on the flank. I believe that was Equuip. Didn't accomplish much. Just kind of zoned the players. What you're seeing right now from SDF, they're just trying to keep all these guys in a similar area, trying to group them up. That flank was just meant to kind of keep them in this corridor, but just as aBeZy rotates around the corner, Simp just has the perfect knowledge to wrap back around at the same time. Turnup finds the snipe onto iReedr, and now it's Equuip left in a 1 versus 3. Can he force a round 10, or will we see a map 5? Simp and B-Dom does get dropped as well. Equuip, a huge pick found, and now just like this, Turnup is on the run. Where is he at? Where is he hiding? Can Equuip stay alive? Turnup coming around the corner, but no! A big round victory coming in from this man, Equuip. A 1 versus 3 to keep SDF alive. EU Cadets probably thinking, once they've found the first 2 players, that, hey, let's get our minds down St. Marie-du-Mont. But just like that, Equuip is there for the response. Equuip is there to answer the call. And now round number 10, they're on offense. What can they get done? iLLeY drops the first kill 9 out of 10 times. EU Cadets have found the first blood. Yet look at the scoreline. Look at the scoreboard. Equuip and aBeZy. A position to clutch. aBeZy drops Simp. Just like that, Turnup is there. 1v2 needed for aBeZy. 2 players just toward his side. He spots the head of iLLeY. Here comes the double challenge you'd like to imagine. Can aBeZy clutch this one out? Makes his way through the bottom bridge. Where is Turnup at? And it looks like the kill will be there regardless. A 1v3 to propel this one to a round 10. But it will be the boys from EU Cadets winning back-to-back maps and forcing a map number 5. As this series has obviously gotten much more interesting than it began. As taking a look at this map here, iLLeY 8-6, Simp 8-7, and Turnup 9-5. Keeping in mind, though, I was discussing and bringing this up. I mean, we only see a 2 scoreline difference. I mean, this one goes 6-4, of course, here at Armed Forest, but 9 out of 10 times, EU Cadets had the first blood, and we still see a round number 10. I mean, that just goes to show how solid SDF really is as a squad when it comes down to that second kill. How do they kind of play in clutch scenarios? It's just kind of mind-boggling. But, of course, kind of taking a look at this series, as we're obviously going to be having St. Marie-du-Mont loaded up here for map number 5. But, of course, we'll kind of take a look here, like I said, as how this kind of series is kind of broken down up to this point. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the semifinals for the Prime $1,500 3v3 Search and Destroy. We're heading into our final map of this current best-of-5 series between EU Cadets and SDF. It's been the boys on EU Cadets making their way back in this series, of course, going down 0-2, Now, like I said, finding themselves at map number 5. Can they make the reverse sweep? A lot of pressure, of course, on both these squads, but probably more on SDF. The factor of a potential kind of choke coming into play. And now we can kind of focus up and get their wits back underneath them. But in this round number 1, you see players kind of feeling each other out. And, before we head into a quick commercial break, I was discussing and bringing up how we've seen this map played out before. It was on map number 1. We saw SDF win this one in 6 rounds to 2, but Turnup does get picked off. Nice flank coming in from Equuip as they've kind of walked through the A-bomb site without anyone kind of in their way, so kind of a journey being made throughout St. Marie de Mall. Is SDF behind enemy lines, and iLLeY not aware of this. Keep in mind, though, aBeZy is very loud. aBeZy is very loud right now. He doesn't have Mountain. iLLeY right around the corner. Who's going to win the gun engagement? It will be iLLeY. A solid victory coming in from the Cadets. As despite the kind of full flank that we see go on A, it's going to be a question to be asking whether or not SDF really should have just planted the bomb down and worked from there. But they go on the full flank and obviously does not work out for them. Starting to see some predictions in the chat. A lot of people kind of rooting for the EU Cadets. I see 6-5 for SDF. Like I said, keep those predictions flowing. You guys think it's going to lock out this game? Wouldn't be unorthodox whatsoever if this one did see a round 11. Based off what we witnessed so far, aReedr initializing things, finds 2 huge kills off the start. We talk about presence when it comes into First Bloods. It was the EU Cadets in our last map in Arden Forest. It went to round 10. And 9 out of those 10 times, EU Cadets had the first blood. However, right now, it's SDF with currently 2 for 2. And Turnup, speaking of oddities and numbers, 1v3. Thankfully does have the objective, the bomb in his hands. Probably wishing he just had a teammate to try and work a peek with or try to rotate toward a bomb with, but unfortunately does not. So, of course, back-to-back rounds, defensive team having success. Much different outcomes, though. Of course, like we said, we talked about SDF kind of rotating all the way through the flank. Doesn't work out for them. EU Cadets are in full form of watching their back. And this side, it's a matter of picks going the opposite way. As I want to definitely continue on here with the offensive teams for a lot of these rounds, because normally, for those who aren't familiar with St. Marie de Mall, pushes toward the A side are pretty unorthodox. As you're going to notice from aReedr, he's trying to clear out mid. The reason why he's trying to clear out through mid is just to have a lot more freedom for his team so they can plant on A. Being able to watch inside the top red is big, and just like that, Simp tries to go on the flank. A lot of knowledge, a lot of intuition in that kill coming in from aReedr. And he knew that someone had to be on the flank. There just wasn't enough challenges going his way, but it looks like aBeZy hops in the bomb, or hops in, inside of red, has the bomb in hand, and thankfully shuts down iLLeY. Didn't realize he was just behind him. That's COD timing at its very finest. As Turnup in back-to-back situations, 1 versus 3. And give this guy a break, really, at this point. But let's actually see really quick aReedr and aBeZy's overall progression towards streaks if we could. So aBeZy gets the plant down as both around the 340 to 350 mark. So feeling pretty good. As aBeZy, unfortunately, it's a little bit of a glitch. If you go on the screen there, it looks like he has the bomb in hand. Doesn't actually shoot with a bomb. Yeah, so you're going to see him through walls. Looks like he shot with a bomb. Not actually the case. It was actually a FG42 in his hands. But not far off streaks from aBeZy. Like I said, he finds at least 1 kill in that round. I think he actually finds 2. Yeah, finds 2 kills in that round along with the bomb plant. And is very close to some streaks as well. And if we can actually go on board with aBeZy quick just to see where he's at. So 456.25. Okay, not too far off. Definitely would like to see him try to stay alive, as he's probably not going to be the guy initializing contact off the break. As it looks like a similar situation, it looks like Simp and Co. trying to feel out the opposition. I like the play that we obviously witnessed in the last round as Turnup does get picked off for the first blood. 4 for 4 in first bloods right now for the guys on SDF. But I like the play in the last round that we obviously witnessed from SDF. One guy is sitting kind of inside of their top winery, watching through middle, successful kind of watching over the teammates as they rotate toward A. This time around, though, Simp's the guy with the bomb in hand, watching on top of Winery, but he has the bomb in his hands. Like I said, he has no one to really kind of clear out the objective for. So just kind of an oddity play that iLLeY, bottom arch, somehow shuts down iReedr. Thought that wasn't going to go his way, especially already being tagged up by a few bullets. Regardless, he gets it done. And this is the guy, like I said, who needs to have a strong game. He's answering the call right now the best way he possibly can. Tags up aBeZy, rotating inside a barn. Now has the ability to potentially shut down aBeZy from the flank. And just like that, Simp comes from one corner. They limit the overall line sights of aBeZy, and now Equuip 1v2. iLLeY side peeking and can't make it to the bomb site. So just like that, Simp gets the plant along with the assistance from iLLeY. And talk about first bloods, of course, going the way right now of SDF, and a lot of those first bloods have been coming on Turnup. I believe Turnup heading into this next round is currently 0-4. Not having the greatest of games, of course, as it currently stands, and definitely needs to quite literally live up to his name. He needs to turn up. He needs to have a stronger match. Granted, he's not the guy who's always going to be in a number of different engagements, but he at least has to play somewhat consistent. I mean, around 4 or 5 kills is really what he needs. As long as his teammates are playing up to par, which they, at least for now, iLLeY is. But it looks like off the break, iReedr keeping the first blood column flawless for SDF. As Simp through middle, along with the kill, also finds the nade. Beautiful sequence of kills coming in there from that man Simp, as Equuip now left in a position to clutch as these rounds definitely get interesting. Around the corner, Turnup is here, and just like that, some confidence earned along with a round advantage. Here from the guys on EU Cadets. Like I said, if you guys are just joining us, witnessing this game, we are in map 5 of our semifinal. Here for the Prime $1,500 3v3 Search and Destroy. Of course, here on January 19th is the night starts to become the morning. Potentially here for January 20th here in the Central Time. Of course, already the next starts already January 20th on the East Coast. Kind of looking at this round from the above perspective on the offensive angle. It looks like bomb planter Simp making his way back to the objective, or back toward his team, actually, toward top winery. Looking over will Turnup. He's trying to play for a pick. They realize how important their first blood is because they haven't found one yet. They're definitely covering it at the moment as aBeZy takes down 2 kills in quick succession. Turnup trying to go for the immediate challenge. Can he spot out aBeZy and is able to find at least one for his troubles. However, 2 more enemies in his line sight. Bomb not in his possession, and as the time starts to tick down, you realize that it's kind of a 1v3. 2 players along with the time, and drops inside of bank by iReedr. Back and forth we go. 6 rounds played. And 3-3. And this one starts to get more and more interesting. You notice quite a few of the classes actually using scoped on the combat training rather than a regular like Hunger or Inconspicuous. Looks like nade tossed out there from iReedr, just trying to get some information on that line set, but Turnup tosses up the stun. He immediately goes to go for the challenge, and he ends up falling. And now they're going to have full control over this site. Player number 6, I believe, is iLLeY. He hops out of top red. And is now looking to try to make something happen on the flank, but iReedr is here. iReedr's here for the pick, potentially, and just right around the corner. Can iLLeY get the timing he needs? No, he's going to get tagged up from behind. aBeZy's going to be here for the immediate challenge. 2 players dropped, and now Simp 1 versus 3. Tries to take out aBeZy, doesn't have any success in doing so. And he will fall just like that. So SDF taking full control over this bomb site. And like I said, they're taking advantage of the first bloods. As it was in the last round, it was the EU Cadets who won 9 out of 10. And winning that game in 6 rounds to 4, like it was a very close match, obviously. Despite winning 9 out of 10 first bloods, and now this game, it's only a 1-round deficit for EU Cadets, and they haven't even got a first blood yet. And we're heading into the 8th round. Just insane stuff. Both teams showing that they can win 2v3 engagements, even at times 1v3 engagements. But right now, at least on offense, we've really seen the guys from EU Cadets really kind of slow things down, working for a pick, trying to find something. At least some information, some knowledge as to whether or not a bomb site is clear. But it looks like Simp testing out some other things. Kind of in the back lines in his spawn. Trying to work on something as Turnup gets into a little gun engagement there with iReedr. Simp going to join alongside of his team, but has to be aware of the top red positioning. Probably where aBeZy is going to be positioned quite a bit of the time. This time it's Equuip, though, sitting inside the top red, iReedr and back barn. And keep in mind, aBeZy on the flank might make his way just below Simp, so Simp is not going to have a call here for his teammates. And aBeZy might have just made it through the setup. Turnup's not going to have a call out here. No idea that aBeZy was making his way through arches. And Simp acting as if that he's still on the flank. aBeZy's still here. aBeZy's tagging you up. Right around the corner. Can aBeZy win it? And a huge win there onto Simp. Turns the situation on its head, and now a 1v2 iLLeY. Needing to go for the plant. Doesn't have hardly any time to work with, and he'll get dropped before that plant is even possible. And just like that, a 5th round found for the boys on SDF, as quite literally it was a matter of Simp sitting inside the top winery, not having a call-out for his team. And I'm not sure if that was just a matter of Turnup taking a look at the mini-map and just seeing that arrow and imagining he's either in bottom winery or in bottom winery building or whatever the case may be. But you see, he makes it through the setup, takes out Turnup with ease, and that totally breaks open the setup because Simp doesn't move from that line sight, totally thinking that, hey, he's probably making his way through. He's probably making his way all through that lookout post, but it's not the case whatsoever. aBeZy seeks out the man who can definitely take over a match. Simp, 4-5 right now. Not having the best game, but his team is struggling. iReedr and Equuip, 2v3. Look at Equip's point of view right now. Objective in hand. Keeping in mind how close he is to streak. So maybe if he could just get a plant down, maybe along with the kill. If they win this round or not, I mean, playing for streaks is obviously a very big factor. So even if Equuip finds himself in an awkward position, I mean, honestly, if iReedr dies, it's not the worst case scenario. But iReedr's not doing that. iReedr takes out Simp and potentially for the series, for putting themselves in the finals. iReedr on the flank. Can he shut down iLLeY in time? Yes, not able to, no. Just happened to take him out. Potential 2v3 clutch coming into play. Now Turnup 1v2. Thought they had it in the bag. Thought they had at least a round 10 booked. But Equuip doesn't have to move from this point of view. He doesn't have to change his line sight. Turnup in top red is just wasting time. And right now, if you're Equuip and iReedr, just stay up, just stay alive, and can Turnup make it happen. Gets the challenge onto iReedr, one that was not necessary whatsoever. Turnup might realize I have to go for the Sneak Defuse, and he's going to be going for it. Equuip is not here. This is going to be a Ninja Defuse, but here comes the streak. Can he stay alive? Is there time? But no, it's not enough time. Turnup thought he might have had an opportunity to go for a Sneak Defuse, but Equuip is right there to wave his finger, saying that a reverse sweep is not on the horizon. It's just a glide bomb. As a 6-3 victory will take place here from SDF as they win this one in 3-2. And what a series that obviously was to witness. I mean, kind of through and through, it was a very interesting game to watch. When we talk about the overall kind of scorecard for this match here, obviously aBeZy finishing up 8-5 along with iReedr. And the amount of first bloods that they got as well. I think out of 9 rounds, I want to say it was the guys from SDF who got 8 of those. So it was just a matter of, at times, and how close the game was at certain moments. It was just like, how is EU Cadets winning this? How are they kind of winning this game? How are they winning a lot of these rounds and being a 2v3 engagements? It just goes to show the kind of history that a lot of these guys have in the search and destroy game, which is based off of clutching. They are in these tournaments day in and day out. They're playing these all the time, so they're kind of used to those clutching situations. And while first bloods are obviously a major factor, they're not as much, I guess you could say, when it comes down to a match like this, because in map number 4, Arn Forest, it was the EU Cadets who obviously had won 9 out of 10 rounds, of course, with the first blood, but it came down to 10 rounds. There were 10 rounds of play, or there were 10 rounds obviously played out, and they got the first blood 9 out of those 10 times. So obviously when it comes down to Search and Strong St. Marie du Mont here from map 5, SDF, they get 8 out of 9 first bloods, but it still sees 9 rounds. So I don't know. It's just kind of oddities to kind of mention throughout a game. I'm really obviously loving the addition, of course, of the first blood counter. It's kind of difficult to see, and you don't see it in the final scorecard, unfortunately, but it's nice to kind of have that little kind of counter off toward the right, which obviously is nice for casters to kind of bring up another element that's kind of going on in this game. But generally, honestly, what a heck of a series this was to kind of witness. Of course, when we kind of look at the overall scorecard as far as how this match kind of took place, we obviously see map number 1 take place in St. Marie du Mont. Dominance being shown for SDF. And we kind of move forward through map 1 and map 2 and just say, really, it was SDF's game. They were playing well. aBeZy was having a strong performance when it came down to USS Texas, preferably. And then we look at London Docks, of course. This is where EU Cadets start to turn things around and where iLLeY really started to be a major force in this series. Played very well when it came down to London Docks. Also had a very strong performance when it came down to Arden Forest. And we see the guys on EU Cadets win back-to-back games, nearly and kind of on the cusp of maybe making that reverse sweep happen, after winning both games 6 rounds to 4. And, of course, we revisit St. Marie du Mont for a very similar result to map 1, SDF winning this one. Not in 8 rounds of play, but just 9 rounds of play. So it just goes to show they're a very talented team when it comes down to this particular map. Now they booked their ticket here to the finals, but who are they facing off against? Let's actually take a look here at our bracket to see how things are currently lining up. It looks like the guys on Reckless have actually made their way here to the finals for tonight. And of course, we actually got to watch the guys on Reckless play a little bit earlier, I believe. Is it? I believe we actually, I believe we got to watch that team play. And in their matchup, it was obviously, fairly close from time to time. There's a very solid squad of that group. Of course, that's Twerk, Hollydiz, and James F612, a.k.a. Stoner, I believe, in the past. But Reckless ended up beating out the guys on Prime, which was Pure, Ryza, and World Storino in a 2-1 fashion. That was a quarterfinal matchup, so obviously got to witness them play that game. And obviously take out the guys from Trailer Gang, I believe, is the team name. Obviously beat them. I'm not sure the exact scoreline and what their victory was over Trailer. But still, of course, I believe they reported 3-0. That could be different from time to time, but still obviously won that series regardless. And now find themselves off here against the guys on SDF. So it will be Twerk, Hollydiz, and James F612 versus aBeZy, Equuip, and iReedr. Should be an interesting one to watch. And of course, we're going to be revisiting the best of 5 format. Of course, maps will be up during the commercial break.